we're live now.
I think we're...
Welcome to the porch. Pull up a chair, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Now here's your host, Michelle Barras and Brian Swanson.
Is this thing working?
I don't know. Is it working?
I think it's working.
Sweet! Hi, my name is Michelle Barras.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
We are Denim and Pearls. We're a business casual.
With pearls of wisdom.
From the
porch.
Yes.
What's
today's topic?
What's today's topic? Today's topic is my story. However, it is not my story.
It's not my
your
story.
story.
Yeah, it's your story.
The question is what is your story? And we have to get to the bottom of that. Michelle's been trying to help me find my story, but it's taking time. I'm a very slow learner when it comes to certain things.
He's not a slow learner. He's stubborn. There's a difference. I'm pretty sure you're stubborn too.
Well, I told you what my fear was the other day about it. So we'll talk about that kind of stuff too as we go through. But first of all, we must do our sponsors.
Yes, thank you so much to our sponsors, A Squared Promos. You can find them at a2promos.com for any of your swag needs, pens, notebooks, you name it, those kind of things that have your logo on it. That's what you want a2promos.com for. For all of your embroidery and screen printing needs, go to ink182.com. That's ink182. For all of your brain needs, did I say what screen printing and embroidery? They do t-shirts, they do hats, they do jackets. You name it.
You haven't figured this thing out yet.
Screen printing throws me off for some reason. And then we also have Harmonized Brain Centers. And what they do is they will help you with any of your cognitive needs.
In other words, help you remember your lines.
Yeah. So if you're sleepy, you're having problems sleeping, or if you've got, issues with memory, any of those kind of things, go to harmonizedbraincenters.com. If it pops in your head, go look it up, because more than likely they can help in some way, shape, or form in a non-medication way. Okay. It's non-invasive. It's wonderful. Then there's Lime Events that does all the outdoor events here in Colorado, lymevents.com, embellishedbutterfly.com.
Oh, wait a minute. Lime Events is doing the Santa race.
They are doing the Santa race.
It's going to be down in Manitou at, I can't remember the exact name of the place, but
we'll go to Lime Events.
Bicycle place.
lymevents.com.
Yep.
And then Embellished Butterfly, bling.
Bling.
And basically, they've set us up rather well. And of course, soon you'll be able to get the Denim and Pearls cuffs. The men, you don't have to get the bling. The ladies, we have the bling. Okay.
Unless they make handcuffs. Oh, did I say that? Anyhow, if you'd like to be a sponsor, if you'd like to be a sponsor, please contact us at Denim and Pearls Podcast at Gmail. And of course, if you listen to us on live YouTube, you can always listen to us again. You can either share now or you can share later. Hopefully you'll share now. So live on YouTube, live on Facebook, all those other kind of things. All of your favorite podcast needs, we're just not there live because I do a little bit of editing before we do that.
Yeah, should we mention one of the big events that we're doing on the 16th?
We shall, but let's do that later.
Not do it later? Okay.
Yeah.
So my story, the topic is my story, which is actually from your perspective. What's your story? And the reason we brought that up is because, well, one, I've been pulling it out of his head. And like many people, we say, I don't have a story. I mean, I don't have a rags to riches story. I don't have a trauma story. I haven't gotten any major illnesses. And then you do, well, then I have nothing to talk about. Well, here's the thing. In your business, in your life, everything has a story. Everything event that happens to you is a story. And when we talk about this on Denim and Pearls with your business casual pearls of wisdom, business and life are together. And when you find your story, which is why we're really pushing on that, when you find your story, you find your why. When you find your why, you can present whatever you do service-wise or product-wise to the public, because they don't care about the product. They don't care about the service. They care about why you do it and what does it bring to them? How will it bring them to a whole nother level? So what's your story?
So can I sum all of this up? Because we were listening to a gentleman earlier, and we would give major credit to him if we could remember his name.
I'll find it.
But he made a comment about the fact that we're not always just selling products. In fact, that's typically not even what we do when it comes to businesses. We don't sell products. We sell happiness. We sell hope. We help sell desire. We sell all of these emotions, which is probably, now that I think of it, is probably why, I won't say it. Anyway.
What? Okay, the man who we listened to on the Live to Lead a little bit this morning is Ed Milet.
Ed Milet, fabulous speaker, great stories, understanding. But while we were, I shouldn't say but, however, while we were listening to it, it brought up a lot of stuff about my story and my book and all those other kind of things. And so I thought we would cover that today, because I agree with Michelle in that we all have a story. However, I don't agree with the fact that we all think that our story is as glamorous, if you will, as everybody else's story.
The glamorous thing is, it's not everyone's story has to be glamorous. In order to connect with the people and the people you want to connect to, they will connect through whatever story you have. It doesn't have to be an extreme story. It just has to be you, personally you. Why you? It actually gives like integrity. It gives credibility to who you are and what you do in your business.
Yeah, but it's like country music. Everybody's got a song.
Then everybody's got a story.
But everybody's got a song, but not everybody wants to tell the story, because there's always the same story. If you listen to any music, actually, if you listen to country music, it's all about the pickup truck, the ex-wife, the dog that died. I mean, it's always the same story. And I'm being very stereotypical here.
He is.
But it's always the same story. So why should I tell my story when it's the same as everybody else's?
It's what I heard when I first got into speaking. When I joined the John Maxwell team, I said, I don't really have a story. And this is a woman who just went through a brain injury. Okay. I don't have a story. And the thing is I heard at the time, it was the president of the John Maxwell team. He said, someone is waiting for your voice. So yes, it's the stories in country. Let's say you lose your car, you lost your truck, you lost your dog, you lost your woman. Thing is when you lost your truck, you had the Chevy truck, and someone goes, oh my gosh, I had a Chevy truck too, and I lost mine. You see me? It's the little things that connect. It's that nuance in you, that specialty in you that you think is so ordinary that everyone else finds extraordinary, that they connect to
Okay,
you.
so we went personal on this really quickly.
It kind of goes that way.
But how do we deal with it when it comes to business?
Well, when it comes to business,
I know the answer to this. You know, the secret to life is never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
That is true. Well,
especially in public.
Well, the thing is about when it comes to business is when you are doing your 30-second spiel at a networking meeting, or if you're on a Zoom call and people say, so what do? You don't say, I sell shoes. You say, when I was 20, I was in a bike accident and I hurt my foot, and I've never been able to wear, pretty shoes. I always had to wear orthopedics and blah, 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 blah. And one day I ran into a store and these shoes were just so pretty. So I put them on and it didn't hurt. And so when I found out more about the shoes, I'm like, I need more of these. And the next thing I knew, I was selling these shoes because it helped me. You see what I mean? It's a quick story, but it's a personal story that sells the shoe you buy and sell. Do you understand that?
So I think this is the same thing as your why.
Yes.
Are you sure?
It's very close.
I'm going to say, because I'm going to question that one, because you didn't give me the answer I expected you to give me.
Oh, really?
Going back to not asking the question if you don't know the answer. I don't think it's the same. I don't necessarily think that your story is necessarily your why.
No, it's not, but it's tied.
They could be tied, and that's why you bring it all together. Because, for instance, your orthopedic shoes that you're just talking about.
It was an example.
And it's an example. It was an interesting example that you came up with. I don't know where you came up with it at.
European heels.
Oh, okay. So your story might be why you got involved in your business, but your why is why you're doing the business.
But did you hear what I said in that example? My feet
Apparently
hurt.
not.
My feet hurt. I found something that didn't hurt, and I could wear something pretty. So really your why is you wanted to help other people with that same problem.
Well, I see your why as that, but I also see it as because I want to make $1 zillion for my family.
That's usually not the why usually doesn't happen that way. Even when someone says, I want to make $1 zillion because I like money. Why?
Because I like money.
Because I like money. Why? What will you do with the money? Well, because
Spend
I'd like to I'd like to spend it. Okay. So what would you want to spend it on?
Lots of things.
What would you, in particular, would be the first
New
thing you would
stereo
buy?
equipment, computers, cars, houses.
What's the first thing you would purchase?
The very first thing, I'd probably be so excited I'd go have a beer.
Why?
Well, that's a tough question. Because that's how I like to celebrate.
Exactly. So why? Keep asking yourself why. Because the thing is
Don't ask me why I like to celebrate.
Although the reason you say you get money, the bottom down, what it will roll down to is, I would be happier, I would have more joy, and I would be able to get what I want when I want it. Okay, so your why is you want the freedom to do what you want when you want.
It's kind of my because, not my why.
It's your why.
Because my why, I think of my why as being much more, not necessarily broad, but more specific to the fact that I want to raise money so that I can support my kids. I want to raise money.
Why do you want to support your kids? They're adults.
I'm using that as an example because no, I don't want to support my kids either. But I'm talking about our audience here, whether they want to support their family or they want to take a trip or
why
they want to get out. Their why was also because maybe, mom and dad raised them in the dirt or whatever the case may be in a trailer park and they want to live in a mansion.
So why do you not want
whys are?
But see, the whys are, you don't want to live in the dirt. You want to be able to support when you can because you didn't have that support. So why? Bottom line again is, I want to have the freedom to do what I want and get what I want. Your why is.
But that leads back to the same thing we talked at the very beginning from the guy, the speaker. Happiness.
It all comes back down to happiness.
What makes you happy?
And when you get in a business, you don't want to just, I'm going to get in this business because I want to do it for the rest of my life till I die. No, you get into business because you want to be able to make money so you can be philanthropic, you can help other people be happy and lift them to another level. Bottom line, it's some sort of happiness. Whatever makes you happy is what it brings it down to. Your why is nothing.
I am going to counteract that one for fun.
Your why tends to be small.
It's not always about me though.
No, it's not.
It could be about the spouse, the wife,
and
the
what
kids.
And what are you trying to do with the spouse?
Making them happy as opposed to me happy.
And making them happy does what for you?
Keeps me from being happy. No.
Do you see the circle that happens? So when I'm coaching people on their why, we get into this whole circle and it goes back to no, but it's really because of this. But why? Well, because bottom line, what are you after? I just want to be freaking happy and I can wake up in the morning. Oh, really? So what's your why? My why is I want to make a difference in this world. When I die, I want on my tombstone not to say, yeah, she was here.
So when I tell this story, because we're talking about the story, am I talking about my personal story when it comes to my business, or am I talking about the story of my business? Yes, I put it into play because I love the shoes, like you were talking about, the orthopedic shoes. This is why I went into this business, because I know it can make other people happy. But what about your story of your business's story? Because it all has it. For instance, where did you get that name? Okay. And I'm going to go back to the 3035 stuff. It came from the original address, or that's the story of the business, or the story. Where did you come up with the name of your band? Mama Loves Me Band. Whatever the name of your band is. Why did you come up with it? How did it come about? That seems to be the story of the business.
That's the story of the business. Personal. And then someone tells you the story of their business. Do you want to go buy into it because of the story of the business? Or did it click when they said something that resonated with you about the business?
Well, if we look at a business, a major business, let's just pick on an
Apple.
Apple was my first thought. And Apple and Amazon, stuff like that. That personal story of the business may have been told, but the personal story of the founder is not always told. So to me, the business story is different than the personal story.
Now, it starts with the business, but people know, like, and trust you. not the business.
As an entrepreneur.
Yes.
In the beginning.
In the beginning. And then when like with
there was.
well, like with Apple.
In the beginning,
you
there
hear
was.
the story. When Apple came out, they said it's two friends started this in the garage. That's what they said, right? And then later on, as the business was starting to grow, they do, well, you know, Steve Jobs is really he's very focused and blah, blah, blah. And they started going into their lives. And then they blew up even bigger. You see what I mean? So it starts with the business story, but you get people for life for the personal story. And you don't have to go into, you know, when I was 3 years old, my dog died and this and this. You don't have to do that. It's why the story connected to the business that you're in. And when I help with I guide, let's say, MLMs, you know, consultants and things like that, in things of that nature. I do. Why did you get into that business? Well, because of the health reasons. Why?
Let's cover that right after this. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for joining us on the porch. We share the nuances and lessons we've garnered from throughout our combined 40 years of life experiences. Talk from the porch is always serious, but full of laughter. And we're glad you're here with us. Like, share with a friend, and please subscribe to our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And remember, join the conversation every Friday at noon Mountain Time. We'll see you on the porch.
Okay, so since I clicked the button, would you like to finish your
No, because
story?
I've lost my thought now. So my thing is if you are interested in being a sponsor with Denim and Pearls, you are watching Denim and Pearls. My name is Michelle Moras.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
And we are Business Casual with
Pearls of Wisdom.
From the Porch. And the reason why I'm saying this right now is it's mid-roll. And what you just saw, that little commercial, should be you.
Should be you. Better be.
So if you're interested in being a sponsor and, you know, having your logos or, you know, us mentioning you in the podcast program, right. Denim and Pearls podcast at gmail.com and say, hey, I want in.
I guess I could have put that up while you were saying
Yes, you could have.
That one right there.
And then the other thing, so yeah, Denim and Pearls podcast at gmail.com. If you are in the Colorado Springs area on October 16th, come out to the formerly known The Bar. It's called
Falcon's Edge Bar and Grill.
Falcon's Edge Bar and Grill from noon to whenever they stop. And come out and see us. We will be live from the Falcon's Edge Bar and Grill from noon to whenever.
Yep.
Come out and see us. And if you have a locally owned business, come out and see us and we'll interview you and ask you what you do in the community.
Right here. What?
Yes.
Okay. So also real quick, go through these. What do you got going on the 23rd of October?
Well, there's a couple of things. On the 20th of October is the book launch for Hold My Crown, my newest book with my best 11 girlfriends, queens, to tell our stories, October 20th. It's a virtual launch, so it will launch on Facebook Live and YouTube across all 12 authors. And so it'll be at 1 p.m. Mountain Time and 4 p.m. Mountain Time. Just come onto my page around that time period and hear some of the stories and help us get to number one by buying the Kindle. It will be dropped very low on that very first day. October 23rd is Hold My Crown, which is the name of the book, the official book launch with solid books at 3E's Comedy Club here in Colorado Springs. And that will be from 1 to 4 p.m. on the 23rd of October. Then on October 28th, we have the 100 author event. And I call it the 100 author because we can fit 100 authors in the room. And right now we have about 30. And we would love for you to come join us. It's open to the public.
You had 99.
No, I want 99. Open to the public. So mark the date, 28 October, 3E's Comedy Club from 9 a.m. to noon. Come out and meet a whole bunch of authors from across any genre you can think of in the books. And if you are an author, come out, write me and say, hey, I want in. How do I get a table at this event? Because just the mingling alone of the authors is going to be tremendous. But to have it open to the public where people can come and buy their Christmas presents and have autographed books that they can give out is tremendous. And thank you for that little bit of plug time.
You had lots of plug time.
I did.
So what am I going to plug? I'll be at the bar tonight doing karaoke.
Falcon's
Edge. I'll be out there tonight doing karaoke. So there's my announcement.
He's a KJ, so he's a DJ who happens to also do karaoke.
Yeah.
So if you're in the Colorado Springs area, drive up on Friday tonight. He starts at 7 p.m. I think, and
somewhere in there,
somewhere around there. But come out and go have fun with us. We'll be singing and laughing and having a great time. He's really good with music. Yeah. See this crazy shirt? It's because he's He's
Wait a
very.
minute. It's the Hulk.
It's the Hulk.
And he's gonna bite your shoulder.
Oh, it does look like he's biting my shoulder, doesn't he? So please come out and join us. There's so much happening in October. And just kind of FYI,
What?
it's my birthday month. So I'm really, really excited and happy and want to share it so much. So that's why a lot of things are happening in
But
October.
wait a minute. Birthdays are only one day.
I celebrate all month long.
Mom wasn't celebrating you 30 days ahead of time.
I do.
She was dreading you 30 days.
30 days ahead, I was inside of my mom's stomach doing, let me out.
Which is why she was freaking out. She wasn't celebrating until the day you were out of there.
Being I was a 10-pound baby. Yeah, she wanted me out. My mom is a tiny, tiny woman. I was a 10-pound baby.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Way.
Wow, what happened?
So what's your story? What's your
I think
story?
we all have our stories. I mean, it's
Yes.
just like I was telling you earlier today. Back to the KJing and the DJing type stuff. I love music. In my story, there's always a story for everything that I understand and everything that I know. And one of my stories with learning to DJ was the fact that a gentleman brought me up on stage when I was in Japan at the NCO club. He was a Japanese national, and he says, "You want to learn how to do this? Because I need somebody to replace me so I don't have to be here every week." At that time, I didn't understand business and understand what he was doing. Now I do. But he showed me the ropes. He showed me how to play songs and kind of keep the crowd going and doing different things like this. But I never expected to be where I'm at now.
Brian doesn't have a story.
But that's at least one little story. But it's not a story of tragedy. I wasn't.
It doesn't have to be tragedy.
I have stories for everything. I have
is-
stories why I came over here
But
today.
the thing is the story of him learning how to be a DJ. It's not a story of tragedy, but it's a story of something so minute that has helped him down the line. There are things that happened in your childhood that you think is minute, but one day as an adult, you're doing something and went, I wonder how I know. How did I know that? Oh, I learned it when I was 6. In his case, I learned it when I was a young airman. Stories happen all the time. You just need to learn to pay attention to them so that you can pull from that knowledge and use it in order to uplift you to the next level to help.
Well, I
you be
think
a
most of
happier
us are in
person.
our life where it's not about paying attention to the story going forward. It's a point of understanding the story as it had progressed in the past.
And you don't know it until it's
Monday
happened.
morning quarterback kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't know the moment until you're well past the moment.
Right. But I know we all, hey, Joan's on.
Hi,
Lean's
Joan.
on. Marcel's on.
Oh, there's a
Hey,
bunch of
everybody-
and Nathan's
everyone-
on too.
Nathan's on.
Nathan, yes,
Nathan says I'm ready for vacation.
Yeah.
I'm ready for vacation once I get rid of the inside
What is
shirt.
going on with this floor? Do you notice that the whole thing moves when he moves?
It's called my fat back.
Don't do that. I can do. No, see, it moves for me too.
Yeah, it
Well,
does,
anyways.
just not as much. So anyhow, there's always a story, but we don't. When we live through it, it depends on how you look at it, and that's part of. I think that's part of my story is the fact that I didn't look at everything as a tragedy. So when I look back now, I don't see it as a tragedy. And
Tragedy. It doesn't have to be a tragedy.
Exactly.
It has to just be something that moved you to
But
something
what's
else.
moving me mean? I mean, from this perspective, when we're looking back on our stories, just because it moved me doesn't mean it's going to move them.
And you have no idea if it will. So you share that story because someone needs to hear your voice.
I mean, nobody who really needs to hear my story on stage of me becoming a DJ.
Well,
mean, what-
if it's a DJ audience, baby, there's someone out there who does. I really love music, but I don't sing, so I can't be a music.
I mean, there's some
He
interesting
can't
things.
sing,
That's right. I can't
but
sing
he
and I can't
knows
play an
music.
instrument, so I play CDs.
but he
Yeah.
loves music, so it helped him move to something else. You never know how your story's going to reach anyone. I always say, well, no one cares that I'm a military brat. I'm a military brat. I grew up overseas. I'd never really been in America. I didn't know anything about America until really I was in my teens. I thought that's no big deal. Like there's a lot of military
Well,
brats.
That gives an automatic thing in your head. A military brat automatically gives you a perspective in your head that you're worldly, that you've been many different places, and that you've possibly experienced turmoil, and you've had to deal with whoever that parent was that maybe went off to war.
Isn't that nice of him to think of my story when I said I didn't have a story?
But it's a perspective.
It's a perspective.
But my perspective
Your
of
perspective
my
is,
story
is that he doesn't have a story. And you're probably out there saying, I don't have a story either. You really do. We all do. It's when do you pull it out and when do you use it in order to help someone else? And the thing is it's important to understand that all of us have gone through something in some way, shape, or form, and it doesn't have to be tragic. Yeah, you just bite your tongue, buddy. Just bite your tongue.
That hurts. You said it, I did.
You see what I have to deal with? Just FYI, for those of you who are watching,
And the only other person
we
laughing
are
is-
married.
The only other person
We
is
are married.
Nathan. He's laughing at
We
me.
are married, but not to each
Each other.
other. Thank goodness. My goodness gracious, great balls of fire. He is like lost it again.
It's
Anyways, you do have a story, but first, like Brian said, think about your business story. If, you have a business and you're wondering about how to share that story on why you're in that and why it appealed to you. And then later, I want you to tie it into your story and why it appealed to you and how did it help you get to some other new level in your business and in your life.
Okay, so let's take this to the next step.
Yes.
Why do I need to know my story? Why do I need to tell my story?
Okay.
What's the outcome?
Don't tell your story. Say, "Hi, I'm selling widgets. Would you like one?"
Sure.
That never.
I love
happens.
role playing.
Yeah.
Not that kind of role playing. Now you're thinking like me. No.
TMI, man. TMI. Anyways, when you meet anyone and they ask you what you do and you tell them what you do, I sell widgets. I'm a widget seller. They do, oh, great. But if you say, I have a product that blah, 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 blah. And because of it, I've learned that I can do give backs and I help people. And I have a team that builds and it's a story. It's a little one, but it's a story. What are you trying to do? What are you looking for?
Nothing. I looking to see who commented, and Helene commented.
Yeah, and not everyone wants to share their story, and that's fine. It's just that if you have you're an entrepreneur, you're in business for yourself, then you are your marketing team. You are your everything to that business. So it's important to be able to share that story because what marketing is telling a story of some way, shape, or form. If you want to be able to connect with people, it should be a personal story so they get to know a little bit more about you. When they know more about you and they understand why you're in this business or whatever business you're not in the business just to make money and take their money because that's going to run them away.
Oh, wait a minute. That's how I was going to simplify what you were saying.
Yeah.
It's about, to me, it's about, okay, if you're going to tell your story, it gives a reason for what you're doing so people can relate with you and you can make more money.
Yeah. And then,
and
then in the long run, to make more money, to be happier. And in that product, if you believe in that product is something that you think will help that person or engage that person to another level, move them to something. Why? To help them become happier. We are in the happiness business.
Okay, so let me go another route with you.
Okay.
I owned a comic book store.
Okay.
Do you know what I know about comics? Well, not now, but then.
He knew nothing.
I'm nada. Do you know how many comic books I have read?
None.
Even since then?
3.
None. I have never read a comic book except for when we were at like Arby's Big Boy back in the day, and you'd open up the little kids menu and it'd have a little story on it. That's as close to comic books as I ever got. I never read comics, but I own a comic book store. So what's my story? Because that story doesn't really promote my store very well.
Well, the thing is the story about you not reading comic books is, a lot of people do like them. And it's a passion that gives them something to look forward to. They look forward to that next issue. You got that comic book store and you became a comic book store owner, not for my personal needs. My personal needs is I like money. I wanted to make myself happy.
It was a business adventure.
And I'm saying it from him. And you knew that people wanted this product to make them happy, help them find happiness, fill their whatever need they have with comics. So yes, you did it for one thing, but you did it knowing that it fed a need for many, many other people. Comic-Con, he was running that whole Galaxy Fest thing. Everyone's wearing costumes and things like that. The only costume I've ever seen this man wear is Admiral Kirk.
Oh, I did Jane too.
You did Jane?
Yeah, from Firefly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, anyways.
I even got the hat. I found it yesterday.
But the thing is with that is sometimes you do businesses not because they personally are linked to you, but because you know that they give something to someone else. You are passing happiness. Think about it. Like Helene says she doesn't have a story. She has a story, but she doesn't want to share it. But she has artwork and she likes to write poetries and things of that nature. She's not doing it for any promotion of anything. She's doing it because she wants to share a piece of herself with the world. Therefore, it's your story that you're sharing, your images.
Well, I think in Helene's case, she knows her story. She knows that she probably should or could or can share it. She's just not ready. I think there's a big difference because,
and that's okay.
From what we're talking about, because I know my stories. I just don't think they have value to them. So why do I want to share those stories?
Helene just gave me an idea. What's your story got to do with it? It means so much to your prospective buyers. Yeah. Yeah, I did that.
Anyway,
if you are watching us live and you're giggling at us right now, do us a favor. Share the live stream and also go to our YouTube channel or any of the platforms that we're on and find Denim and Pearls podcast and share, like, and subscribe, because we could use more followers so we can change our YouTube name. We're so close.
We're three away. I just looked at it yesterday.
We need 3 more people to like our YouTube page so we can make our YouTube page Denim and Pearls.
Well, maybe we can get them to go out and make fake accounts and like the page.
Just go to another computer and
yeah, whatever.
Anyways,
so, anyway,
we need 3 more. Will you be one of them?
I don't know what that is, but
that's my texting.
That's your thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyhow, I think we're done. I think we covered a lot. I think I hope this helps somebody because it's helping me. Okay. The conversation we had today is a lot of conversation that Michelle and I have had over the last year or so. But it's all kind of coming together for me, but I'm hoping that it comes together for you. And maybe you can tell your story faster than I can tell my story.
Maybe you're not as stubborn as he is.
Yeah. That's what I was going to talk about too, is part of it. Remember, we talked about the other day, part of it is my fear. It's a weird fear because it's a weird fear of the fact that I know if I write my book, it's going to be a major, huge success. And then my brain kicks in and says, are you kidding?
You can ask my family, my husband in particular. I didn't want to go on stages because I was afraid that I would get really, really popular. And if I was really popular, people would know who I was. If they knew who I was, then how do I go outside without people? I mean, I had it. My fear was not a failure. My fear was being better than I could possibly imagine. And it scared me. And I'm like, I don't.
So now I understand the ball cap and the sunglasses.
Anyway, what is your story and what's holding you back? Is it fear of sharing it and doing amazing things, or sharing it and being ridiculed or criticized? Remember, it's your story. It doesn't matter how it comes out or what it is. It's your story, and you've experienced it in order to share it, to help someone else through yours. It doesn't have to be on a big stage. It could be just a friend across the table from you. It could be in your book club. It could be anywhere.
Okay, I have to answer Helene's question.
What?
She says, why is it helping me?
Oh,
the conversation, I believe she's talking about the conversation that we've had over the last year. Why is it helping me? Because it's helping me look inside of me and my stories, and to understand that everybody else looks at my story from their perspective, not my perspective. Because we've talked about that before. When it comes to turmoil and getting over things, I don't believe in failure, and I don't believe in regret. Mm-hmm. Okay. I understand that they exist. However, I think they're very, very, very strong words that nobody needs to use. So did I have failures in my life? In some people's perspective, I did. Did I have regrets in my life? In some people's perspective, I did. Okay. So now my stories are becoming what I think other people may perceive my stories as. And that's why it's helped me dig back into those. And then some of them, even especially if you were here with us when we talked about my mom over the time frame I spent up there, it makes me realize some of the things were probably a little worse than I thought they were. So that creates my story to be a little bit better. So no, I don't have, in my opinion, I don't have a failure story or a regret story or a tragedy story. I just have stories that I perceive differently that other people might be able to learn from my story.
And one of the things you'll learn, what if you keep watching us, that I just love about Brian is he's just a very positive person. The craziest things can be happening around him. He'll say, yes, but the sun's still out. I mean, he's just always sees the happiest thing. I mean, we go out to karaoke and he's singing a song about everybody's gone, I'm all alone. He's like, everybody's gone and I'm all alone. You're like, it's a sad song, man. Just got to be sad a little bit. He goes, but it's got a good melody. So he always sees the brighter side of everything that happens. And so with us working together, I've been helping him see that, yes, it's good that you see the positive side, but people need to be able to see through your story to get to the positive side. And that's where it's helping the most. So thank you so much for joining us on the porch. My name is Michelle Moras.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
We are Denim and Pearls. We are business casual.
With pearls of wisdom.
From the porch. Until next week. Oh, next week won't be Friday. Next week will be a Saturday broadcast at noon, live from Falcon.
New York.
The Falcon.
Oh, the Falcon, the Falcon's Edge, yes.
Next week, we will not be on live on Friday. We will be live at noon on Saturday, the 16th, live from Falcon's Edge Bar and Grill.
You realize it's getting dark in here?
Yes.
Because my glasses are starting to fog up.
Ciao.
Peace.